session this morning will be a defending session going from 1 versus 1 to 2 versus 2, up to 4 versus 4, and then into a half-field practice. We'll look at man-to-man defending, we'll also look at some zonal defending, and we'll never get away from the principles of defending, which is pressure, cover, and balance. In our first phase practice for defending 1 versus 1, we've got 10 by 20 yard grids and opposite players at each end. The boys will take a touch out of their feet and serve the ball in and then defend their own end line. And stand still. So the first thing we need to look at with defending in a 1v1 situation, what's your first job? How about get there? How about put him under some pressure? Okay, so have the ball back again. We're asking the first defender now to close the space down immediately as fast as they possibly can. So we've established that the first defender must apply immediate pressure. Now we want to start to look at the angle of approach. So Matt, if I play the ball into the middle there, at what angle will you close him down? You have choices, don't you? So maybe what you can do, if you know something about your opponent, maybe you can take your opponent onto their weaker foot. Invariably, we don't have a lot of that information. So which foot might you want to take him to, Matt?
My strong foot.
So Matt's strong foot as first defender, which is his left foot. So maybe he wants to take him in there. So he's tackling with his strong foot as opposed to his weaker foot. So let's see if you serve the ball in straight down the middle. Your angle of approach now is going to make William take the ball onto your left foot. Good. So as we get in behind, we see the angle is a little bit different, taking the attacking player onto Matt's strong foot, which is his left foot. Matt's closing William down very quickly. He's decided he wants to take him onto his strong foot. Now I want you to decide at some point where you might need to slow down so he can't beat you with his first or second touch. And stop there. So Matt has now established, just go back a yard, William. Matt has now established an angle of approach. He's established immediate pressure, and he's established a safe distance so that the attacking player, just come closer, Matt, can't beat him with one touch and then straight speed. So now we're going to take a little look at the body shape and the defensive posture. So as Matt comes in now, he wants to make sure that he gets a little bit side on. If he gets square and William takes the touch, Matt's first movement is to have to turn. And also if he's square, he's very vulnerable to the nutmeg, the ultimate embarrassment for any defender. So as he comes in, angle of approach, we're now going to get side on, and he wants to have a touch cue here. If I can touch the attacker, I'm often too close. So if I use my arm, I can stare straight along my arm. It gives me a visual cue. Now I'm side on, and I'm actually ready, saying to the attacker, if you take the touch, I'm ready for the race. Okay, so when you come in, Matt, this time, in your angle of approach, I want you to get nice and side on. I want you to look down your arm to give you a visual cue, and just hold your ground and be patient. So the first thing we're asking the defender to do is immediate pressure. The second thing is his angle of approach. Third is to slow down. And now the fourth is to delay. And obviously he went in and won the ball there. And stand still. Okay, so once he's now come into that area there, why did you decide to take him there?
Because he took his first touch that way.
Okay, he took his first touch that way. So do you want him to keep going towards the end of the grid? Okay, so now we're starting to talk about denying space or concentration of space. So once we get into this situation, make sure he cannot go that way with your body shape. Could you still go that way, Tony? Yeah. Okay, so fix it, Andriano. All right, so you're definitely inviting the attacker to go the way that you want him to go. Get there nice and quickly. When to slow down and stop there. Good. Now, once we've taken them into this side here and the attacker does manage to change space, it's very important now that when we change our body shape, we don't cross legs. Now we need to rotate onto the back foot and around so that we're maintaining our body shape, low center of gravity. We're looking across along our arm so that we stay side on so we can't be nutmegged, and we maintain our distance. So just dribble to the side. So as I come across, I'm skipping across, maintaining my distance and swiveling. Yep, speed it up. And I'm swiveling, looking down, staying side on and coming back this way. I'm delaying, I'm jockeying, I'm buying time for my second defender. Once more, Maddie. Make sure that you don't get too close. You can do that by using your arm. Good, and a nice swivel. Don't get too close. Your arm out. Don't get too close again. Good. What are the ways that we could win the ball?
Tackling them.
Tackling them. All right. So tackling's one. Okay. Anything else?
Faking them out.
What do you mean by that? Faking them out.
Make them lose the ball on purpose.
Okay. So by applying pressure, you force a mistake. Okay. So we can force mistakes. They can dribble the ball out. They can give the ball to you in the end. And that happened a lot, didn't it? Even when you were just jockeying and delaying, there were people who were still giving you the ball because the tricks weren't working. Okay, any other way?
Interception.
Okay, so an interception. So, Marcus, if you come on the ball here, and I maintain my distance when I'm here and play the ball there, and I just step across, and that becomes an interception as opposed to a tackle. So now, what's the best quality of a defender? Any ideas? What were we just doing here? Delay. Waiting for what? Waiting for the moment to win the ball. Okay, so the best quality a defender can have is patience. How many times have you seen impatient defenders come in and lose the opportunity to win the ball? So now, as you're dribbling, I want you to pick the moment to apply pressure to force a mistake, to tackle, or to intercept. All right, off you go. And stop there. Okay, there's a point there where he showed a little bit of disguise and you were in here, and the moment you squared up and he was about to go that way, that's the moment that you were squared up. Okay, so from there, can you just rotate to there as opposed to squaring up? All right, maintaining that body shape. Good. Be patient. Be patient. Good. There's your moment to win it and transition. Go on, get there and score. Well done. Nice and patient, Biggs. Good. And stop there. Okay. So in the moment of... Go on, back you go. In that moment of transition, you've gone from being the attacker to the defender. At this point in time, are you too close? Yeah. So if you can't win the ball, you've got to make a decision. If I can't win it straight away, I've now got to put myself into the body shape to delay. Arm and your body posture. Okay, look like a player. All right, so as we go now you've got to transition from attacker to defender and decide, can I win it or do I need to delay? All right, Biggs, you ready? And play. Good, and you forced a mistake. Well done. And stand still. Stand still. Okay, well done, Biggs. You forced him into a moment where now, come on the ball, forced him into a moment where in order for him to protect the ball, where did he turn his body shape? Okay, so the moment he turns backwards, look like a player, get your foot off it. Are you going to spin it with that foot or this foot? All right, so spin it then, up, look like a player, stop there. Okay, so once we get into this position, if you go body up on him and you feel me here, which way will you go? Okay, so he's going to roll out of the challenge. So in order to let him know, you can still do this, but you're not giving him a clue as to which way he needs to go. So he's tight enough, so I've gone from face me again, I've gone from in here maintaining my distance, electing to try and make a challenge, forcing him to protect the ball. So now I want to get a little closer to put him under that pressure, because I don't want to allow him to face me again. That's a more dangerous position. Okay, so back again. And now here's the key. Here's the key. If he takes the ball with the inside of this foot and spins this way, that's a tackling moment for me, because he's turning into me and he doesn't know where I can be. Yeah. Take it again. Now I want you to take it with the outside of your foot. That's different. I can't tackle now. Just stay there again. Take the touch. Outside of your foot. Stop there. What's between the ball and me? His body. Okay, so that's not necessarily a good tackling moment for me. So now I want to get back into a position where I'm ready for him to spin, take his second touch. That's a tackling moment. So we're now looking at the outside of the foot and the inside of the foot as different moments to make the challenge. And stop there. Did you feel him? You know where he was? Okay, so you need to start to use this. All right, you're defending like this. All right, you're nice and close, but he doesn't know where you are. Now you're giving him a clue that you're there. All right, so you can defend like this, and you might force him to go one way or the other, but you're not overcommitting. And it's delay, delay, good. Be patient again. Good, and you forced him out. Good. This time we're introducing the recovering defender, 2 versus 1 situation, and to make it a little bit realistic on the recovering defender, we're asking him to run to the end of the grid, touch the end line before he can come into the grid and start to defend. And stand still, Biggs. Okay, so what do you think your first job now is, Biggs?
We take touch up there. Delay.
If you can win the ball, you got to be 100% now to try and win the ball. If he's got a bad touch, attempt to win it. If you don't think you can win it, then delay and buy time and wait for this guy to come. So once, William, you turned there, what do you think your first thing to do is? You can tell him you're behind him, but your first thing really, as you turn, is can you take a snapshot of the picture that you see in front of you? What visual effect now do you get from your first defender? Where's he taking the attacker? Okay, so your job as the second defender now is cover. We've got pressure, now we have cover, and you've got to get into an area where you can help Biggs. You can see the ball and help Biggs, but Brandon, just come inside and take the first defender on, but also be in a position to become the first defender should he beat Biggs, okay, on the inside or the outside. And yes, you can start to supply information. Back again, Brandon. But if you take your visual cue from your first defender, he's trying to force him where? Down the line. So now you want to get into a position and help him. Biggs, I'm here. All right? And at some point, Biggs, I'm going to help you make a decision on when to tackle. Take a snapshot and give him information as you come, William.
Give him that way.
Good, and now we see the first defender get in a tackle, the second defender immediately transition and becomes the first attacker. And stop there, well done. Okay, so the second defender was able to come in and win the ball. What was the only thing missing, Brandon? Yeah, a little communication. He didn't know you were coming in. So if you're coming in to make the challenge, don't be a secret. Because there are moments. Let's play the ball in to Biggs. Cole, just step out for a moment. As I take my snapshot and I come in, first of all, I've got to take the snapshot. I see he's going into the line. Brandon, delay, I'm coming. I'm coming. All right, and we play, and we play. And hold, and hold. Now tackle, tackle. Go on, have a tackle. Good. So we've got to help him make the decision. And also it's off-putting to the attacker to understand that I'm there and I'm wanting him to tackle the ball. Specific vocabulary could be hold, delay, tackle, support, I'm here. Little words like that, little buzzwords. So again, you're coming in, you're relying on your athleticism to get in here and boom. Now, as soon as Patrick goes around you, look like a player, slow down. You're relying on your athleticism to chase him. Now, at some point, that's going to let you down. You're going to find somebody who's quicker than you. So now you have to rely on defending principles. And the defending principles are get here, get side on, maintain your distance, and delay, and wait for help. Unless you are 100% sure that you're going to win the ball. Nice and fast, slow down, delay, delay, and stop there, don't move. Well done, Santino, that's much better as a first defender. Now, as a second defender, if you get too close, what's the danger?
Straight back.
He's going to do you in one touch. So you've now got to maintain your distance and also be in a position where you can cover him on that side and cover him on that side.
Right.
Okay? And you're his voice piece as well. You can see everything, so you can encourage him to tackle or delay or force wide. If they're nice and quick, go on. Good. And maintain your distance. And stop there. Good. Stop there. Back you go, Patrick. Now you made him turn his back on where he wanted to go. At that point, I want you to get a nice touch tight and make a decision. Keep forcing him back. That is a moment too as well where you can't necessarily turn, just maintain that position, turn. Tino, nice touch tight. You can't go one way or the other because you can't predict that. So at this point, you've got to maintain your distance. All right, Tino, make a decision. Where are you going? Where are you going? Okay, so if Tino starts to force him that way, make a decision, one way or the other, Tino. If he goes there, I might want to come in a little bit closer as I see the ball. Maintain your distance till you see the ball. Good. Keep talking to him. Good. Well done. You won the ball each. Okay, we've progressed now to 2 versus 2, where we'll start to look at the role of the first and second defender together, coming from goal side. We've increased the grid sizes by 5 yards in width on each side. And stand still. Okay, so the first job is to identify who. So we've identified the first defender. Somebody has taken leadership and said, I've got it. Closed him down well. Now we need to start to look at your body shape in here. If we can isolate the man on the ball, that gives you numbers up. 2 versus 1 instead of 2 versus 2. So your angle of approach now needs to be conscious of the passing lane so that we can start to isolate the man on the ball. And from that position there, you've got to be close enough to be able to cover, but stop the ball coming in here. So maybe you want to come in here a little bit more. And we're inviting the attacker to use all of that space there. And stand still. Back on the ball, William. So if you can't win the ball, what's your job, Brandon? Delay. The moment you get too close, what did he do to you? Gone. Okay? So now you need to be in this position here, bringing him inside, and well, get your body shape right. And if you stay square, what are you vulnerable to? Where can he play the pass? He can play it through there, in behind you, he can go himself, or the runner can combine. So now you need to be staggered. Come, come. Pay attention. You need to be a little staggered. And can you see both things that are going on here? So you need to help him as well. Maybe bring him this way, delay, until you get them to a point where you can isolate the man on the ball. If you isolate the man on the ball right now, you're also leaving 1 versus 1 instead of 2 versus 1. Well done, Cole. And we play. If you...
Now keep him blind, keep him blind. Come on, man.
Stop there. Back you go, William. Well played, William. What information did he give you? Come on in you come. And you let him come inside one, and then you squared up, and as you tackled, you were going back on your heels. Look like a player. So if you're hearing the information, keep him line, change your body shape to keep him line. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keep him wide. It's still the same thing, isn't it? So you don't want him to go inside you. All right. From there, you've got a good distance and good covering. We're not square. He's not going to play it through there. And the moment he tries to beat Cole, that's when you can get in close. Ready, William? From there, play. And stop. What's your job? Keep him line. Don't allow him to play the ball inside then. Have the ball, William. Play from there. Once more. Keep him line then. Brandon, help him. Brandon, fix your distance. You're way too close, you'll get done, you're too square. Play. And the second defender can go in and win the ball. And roles now rotate. So what you don't want to do is exactly what you just did. Yeah, and all you did was watch the ball and go there. Because now you don't know where the runner is. So now we want to play like a seesaw or a teeter-totter. I'll take your spot for a moment. Okay? Brandon's the first defender. Allow him to play it across and rotate. So I'm in there, delaying play, 2-touch, and I've got to drop off and stop there. Now I can be the second defender. I'm in a covering position. I can see the ball, and I can see the second attacker or the support player. Play again. Brandon, rotate. I'm in, nice and tight, and backing off. Cole, you're in. You two speed it up now, 2-touch. Nice and quickly. Look as if you're closing him down, don't pretend. So now we have a situation where you're outnumbered, and they've also got, come forward Cole, they've also got a little bit of depth in their attack. So it's difficult, more difficult now to assume first and second defender. So you've got to make choices. If I become the first defender and I decide to isolate, I've also got to delay by allowing him to close his own space down. Because if I go too close here, the pass will eliminate me. So a little bit of patience. Now I can allow him to come at me, but all the while, walk forwards. The closer he gets, the more I'm going to isolate one of the passing lanes. And I have to make a choice. It can't be both. Okay, so you're in there. And as a second defender now, you can't mark one guy. You have to do multiple roles when we're outnumbered. So you've got to be in a position to defend, goal side, and we're starting to isolate that position there. So as walk, and William, keep isolating Patrick, but you can't allow the ball to go in there, so we've got to keep coming this way a little bit to stop this pass here. Because we want to make the play now very predictable, and where would you like him to pass it? Either there or keep it himself, right? But you've got to be on your toes and ready to go the moment the ball is there. So let's see if we can identify first defender by isolation or blocking one of the passing lanes. Second defender being able to cover the first attacker, the man on the ball, and the support player that's not being blocked. And stop. Okay, where did you want the ball to go, William? Line. All right, so your job now, you've got to demand it from him though. Your job is to stop it going there under any circumstances. So you've got to invite him to go to the line. You've got to be in a position where you can't get done square, where they can play a penetrative pass, but you're still in a position to cover. Okay, they've made a mistake, giving the ball away, out of the grid. Good tackle, good. Why did you decide to tackle?
Because he was already coming down the line.
He was coming down the line, how's his touch?
Bad.
So he had a bad touch and he's coming down the line and you thought you could win the ball. Well done. If you're the second defender and you're giving information, make sure you bark it out. It's a demand, it's not a request. Keep him down the line. Or you take, if you don't have time for that, take a visual cue from the first defender and sort your covering position out from there. And stop. Now, where were you?
Making that run behind him.
Okay, so your problem is, how many of the blues can you see? Just two. There's three of them, right? So you're a little bit too far forward. So you now need to be in a position where you can see all of them and across a little bit, so you can cover if he beats the first defender. But now you're doing two jobs. One job here and a covering job on the passing lane. Sometimes when we're defending first and second defender, we need to share the load. And sometimes we get a second defender who's prepared to say, run, 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 and run. Okay? Now, do you want to keep going backwards and forwards? So how could you stop that happening as a first defender? Right, now you've got isolation, now you've got 2 versus 2. He can't play the ball to this guy. A little bit there. A little bit there. Okay, a little bit there. Because you don't, if the ball goes in there, whose is it? It's Brandon's, second defender. Okay, you don't want to be too far forward because he's just going to play it in there behind you. Okay, so stop yourself from having to run backwards and forwards by isolating one of the attackers. Now, if he plays it there, let's see a role reversal, goal side first, and you drop off nice and quickly. And that way you share the load instead of one guy doing all the running. Good. And stop. Have the ball bigs. Patrick, the moment the ball came here, you followed the ball and went that way and the ball came across you. What's your job? Show me. Show me. Get in a defensive posture. Backwards, yeah. So that you can see the ball and get into a good covering position. Back again. Don't follow the ball. Play bigs. Drop off. Good. And we play. Isolate it. Good. And you win the ball. Well done. We've now progressed to a 4v4 practice where the players will be required to stop the ball on the end line to score a goal. In this practice, we'll add the third defender or the role of the balancing defender. All right, so now we've isolated Matt out there, and you now, as a second defender, can get into a position where you stop that ball going there. Okay, your position here, now you become the third defender. So you need to balance the whole thing out for us by offering us a little depth and also some communication. So if the ball now goes in out wide, stop there. How do the roles reverse or change? And you're the second defender. And Tony and Marcus, you both become third defenders. So now you want to start to balance the play. Good, by maybe coming in here a little bit. So see, now we're a little staggered, a little bit like a hockey stick. And now the ball, if it's played there, is going to be across the front of you, as opposed to if you're here, the ball goes on your blind side or in behind you. Now, if you're not getting information, give them a visual picture. So if you make your own decision to come here and stop it going this way, then you can react accordingly to the picture. Which means you can come in here a little bit and stop the ball going there. Maddie, do you want to invite the ball there? You want it to go there? Then send him an invitation. Don't get too close because he won't give him the ball. So drop in, because you're now covering the goal area, which would be the middle of the field, and you're ready to go. All right? Because if you go too far here and he's able to play there, look what situation we have. 1v1. You've got to be aware of that as well, Gokes. Back you go, Marcus. So you've got to provide cover in here and invite the ball out wide. And you come, play. Good. 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 There's a case of the first and second defender working together. You win the ball, you score a goal in transition. And stop there. You came in and recognised you needed to be first defender. Well done. And the ball was played into there. Wee man, you peeled out and you followed the ball and you stood still. And where did the ball end up going? You weren't there, were you, Jason? See the problem now? Okay, back again. So once the ball is gone, let's see the transfer of roles. Good. And you've got to drop off. Okay. And you force him, Cole, one way or the other way. It's up to you. All right. Now, based on that, Tony, do you need to be square with him? Stay there, Cole. Show me how you're going to fix that now. Don't be square. There you go. Who now is the third defender? Tony, maybe? Who else? Okay. Now, if you're square with these guys, how can you be a third defender? So now you've got to give us a little bit of balance on the blind side or the far side. So if the ball is switched in front of you instead of behind you. How can we defend this area here? It's tough, isn't it? Yeah. So we need to be a little more staggered so that the ball is forced across the front of you and you're still in the position to cover this area as well. Play bigs. Now it changes. Good. Yep. Well done. Ahead of the ball, ahead of the ball, and ahead of the ball. Who is our second defender? So we've got no recovering defender now. He scores in here, but you're all prepared to watch him play here. Gox, can you get around nice and quick? Can you recover? Good. Is it okay if the ball goes there? It's better than them scoring, isn't it? Second defender, you've got to get all the way in behind goal side and force the ball out that way. Or come into an area somewhere in here where we block that one. Now where's the ball going? So we're making it more predictable and we'll isolate the man on the ball when that happens. And stop there. Now, well done. Why well done? What did you block? All right, so you've isolated the man on the ball. Now we've got to fix this in here again. Just don't let it get switched, wee man. Good. And attack.
Starting with going to goal 1v1, 2v2, 4v4, and then we're going to go into the back four with the goalkeeper, add midfielders, add strikers, 11 versus 11. And stop there. Okay, so the first thing we've got to start to look at is you getting there. You've got to close him down as quickly as you can. As fast as you can. Go on, get there. Now that we're defending a goal, one of the things you need to think about, if we ran in a straight line from your group, we're still leaving the goal wide open, maybe to a shot. So as quickly as you can you get goal side? So you get your body between the goal and the ball. Now change your angle of approach. Which way do you want to force him? And why?
Because kick it out.
Kick it out, and it's also away from the goal. Okay, good. So now change your angle of approach and get into a defensive posture. Ready? And play. And as soon as you win it, you can play on. And stop. Well done. Your job is, because you're almost equal with him, your job is to get goal side the shortest route possible. So can you now pick a route that is going to get you between you and the ball as fast as you can? Show me without the ball. Go. Good. So instead of chasing William, come William, instead of chasing William, can you get across William and get goal side first and then start to recover your position? And can you get goal side? Good. Stand still. Well done. Now that you've recovered, let's take a look at your defensive posture. Arm out, side on, side on. Okay. Now, do you want to tackle with your left foot? Okay, you've brought him there, so now you want to buy a little bit of time, don't you? Okay, so once you've got him in here, keep your distance, because if he takes a big touch, there's some space in there. Now, goalkeeper, where's the danger space? In this area here. So can you, without giving him an opportunity to chip you, be ready to pounce. Be ready to come off your line. It's a 1v1 situation here. you can change the balance by giving us 2 defenders versus 1 attacker. And play. And stop there. One of the best qualities of a defender is a little bit of patience. Okay, so once you got nice and close, if we give a free kick away in this area, that's actually a penalty. Okay, so we just got to slow our approach down. As we get out to him now, I want you to go fast for a couple of yards and then slow it up so that you know where you're going to force him next. Go. Good. That's it. That's good. Well done. Be patient. There you go, and you intercept and transition. And stop there. Now, we've got to identify who's going to close it down and become the first defender. You need to identify that quickly. You can do that verbally, Maggie, by saying, I'll go or you go. You can do it visually by Shaggy got there a little bit quicker. Now you need to adapt and be the second defender. So you need to be in a position to cover and offer a little bit of information. And get there nice and quickly. Now decide. And stop. Good. Terrific example here of first and second defender cooperation. Maggie forced him one way. Good covering position. The angle and the distance were pretty good, so that when Tino played the ball inside, big touch, the second defender was able to win the ball. Keep coming, keep coming. You tried to win it. So the second defender, keep going, Shaggy. Second defender was able to intercept the ball. Well done. Classic example of second defender winning the ball. Stand still. As your angle of approach came out to close the ball down, where does she have help on her team?
That's how she
Okay, so maybe you want to start to isolate that and at least cut out one of the passes, which if you look behind, is a penetrative pass, which would take 2 defenders out of the game. So now if we were able to stop the penetrative pass, at least, the ball will go backwards or square. If you can see that this pass here has been blocked off, maybe you can cheat a little bit and just stay in here, because we don't want to isolate a 1 versus 1, but just be ready to go. Just play the ball square, Jordan. As she goes to play the ball square, can I come in and intercept? You want to try and be a little bit tighter on the goal side shoulder here, okay? And with this scenario here, do you want to defend this space or this space? Which is more dangerous? Okay, so we just tuck you inside a little bit here so that we don't end up with a 1 versus 1 situation. And if you give yourself a half a yard there, can you see every player? Yeah. Okay, so now you can communicate as well. Other thing, we need you to start to communicate with your back 4. All right, start helping them out, pressure the ball, send it outside, send it inside, tackle, delay. And stop. Once Marcus played the ball in there, make the same run, Marcus. You went here. Where did the pass go? Okay. Lucky that we had a third defender who was balancing, who recognized the square ball going in. So now as a second defender, back you come, Marcus. Instead of following the ball and ball watching, once that's, just step to the side and watch me. Once I've put pressure on here and it's gone square, I just want to back off with the runner. What's your job now, Maggie? So Maggie becomes the first defender. I'm going to get it back into a position where I can maybe be the second defender, or you be the second defender, which leaves the third defender, Nehemiah. Yes, Meg. Giving us a little bit of balance. You don't necessarily want to be square here, because where's the danger space? Out there. In there. Okay, so if we get you to step this way a little bit, just now offering us a little bit of depth in defense and a little bit of balance. Now the ball will probably be played in front of you as opposed to behind you. So there's a quick change in roles: first defender, second defender, the balancing defender, and the goalkeeper. Yep, played square. Let's see your run, Megan. Good. Closer, Maggie.
And stop. Good. So by Alec giving us a little bit of depth now, don't kill your space. The ball was played in front of you. Play that ball there. And you now become the first defender. And you drop off and be the balancing defender. And where did the next pass go? Okay, so they tried to play a penetrative pass. And because you had depth, you were able to pick it up at your feet. Play. Second defender, Megan. First defender, Megan. Drop off, Alec. Good. And the third defender is able to intercept. We've now put in a goalkeeper and a back four. We're going to defend with 4 defenders against 4 oncoming attackers. I've named the attackers 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I call out the number 2, then the number 2 will be the ball carrier, and the defenders will have to adapt to that ball carrier, apply pressure, and get their shape from that ball carrier. 1. And stand still. Now make choices as a defensive unit. Where do you want Alex to take the ball? Now think of this. Think of this. He is isolated on the outside unless we take this guy across very quickly. So sometimes you want to make a decision based on numbers as well. You don't always have to take things on the outside just because it's away from the goal. What do we have in here? Numbers, okay? So maybe make a decision based on the area of the field, and also make a decision based on his angle of approach. If he comes on this angle of approach, it's not very difficult for you to adjust and go on the outside. So sometimes you might have to take a visual cue. If it's going to come in here, can you get a little bit closer? Lonnie, can you get a little bit closer and now alter your body shape so that you're not just staring at the ball, you're actually looking at what is here and what is here. You need to be able to see the furthest player as well. Can we get the balancing defender just to come back slightly? So now we've got a little bit of a curve shape or a hockey stick. So you're encouraging the ball to be played across the front of you, in front of your chest, as opposed to if we come higher, the ball is going to go in behind you. And stand still. Okay, quite a lot throughout defending we've spoken about putting immediate pressure on the ball, but there are times where you might want to hold your space as you did there. Hold your space and invite the ball carrier to come a little closer to close down the space. A little bit of concentration, and it also buys time for the rest of our defensive unit to get into its shape. So if you're going to invite the ball carrier, our balancing defender becomes far more crucial in the play so that we don't allow them to switch the point of attack with a diagonal ball. And as you come out now, come to me, come closer, and we'll go up together. Closer, closer, Alec, and stop there. That's how we're going to make ground so that we allow the space in the channels, but we close up the space in and around the goal. And the moment William gets to the ball, the moment William can get to the ball and can turn again, we've now got to decide, do we hold our ground or do we concede ground and retreat? William, look to play a long pass. As I see him check to take a long pass, maybe now, Biggs, you've got to concede some ground because you are going to become the covering defender into the channels. As soon as the ball's traveling that way, can we make ground? Then decide, do we hold ground or do we retreat based on his body movements? Play. And make ground, and up, in. Hey, don't just come straight up because you're leaving gaps, in and up. So now as you come across, you've still got to be the balancing defender, which means you've still got to see this danger here. Do you still want to keep coming this way? No. No, I think you need to be hanging in here. Okay, Biggs, get on his other shoulder on the inside. Okay. And stop the ball coming inside now because we're outnumbered here. All right, but you don't necessarily want to man mark. You want to now be the balancing defender. Go backwards and in. And in. Not so far back. Okay, so maybe we get a little passing on players, and that's going to happen through communication. Well done, Nehemiah. And make ground, make ground. In this kind of situation here now, we want to try and stop the penetrative pass. So because you've got to be aware of this guy, you might have to be a little bit closer. But now, instead of being so close there, Maggie, we might drop you in just a little bit so that you can do this job and also block the passing lane into this one. Okay? And Tony, depending on the body shape of the player playing the ball in, if it doesn't look as though it's going in here, can you just duck inside a little bit to give us a little bit of shape in there? And you can do the same, Youngie, just come inside. Come inside. So we're really conceding space into the channels as opposed to down here where the penetrative passes are. Loney, that's good. You need to be on the goal side shoulder. And Alec, you can pinch a little bit. If it looks as though the ball's going to come into the middle, you can pinch a little bit so that, again, he's not left with a 1 versus 1. And Shaggy, you can do the same. You can just pinch in a little bit, but not so deep. You don't have to go deeper because we want him controlling our depth in defence. And stop there. All right, now in this situation, have the ball. When he's not facing forward, that might be a good visual cue for you to get there very quickly and force him backwards as opposed to conceding ground this time. So as the ball travels, get there nice and quickly and force him backwards or sideways. Yeah, this time we're going to play though. Force him back. Good, and the second defender's able to step forward and win the ball. Good, Maggie. If the ball is now played across us, we don't want you doing all of that work. You've done a good job to force the ball square. Okay, so can we now change, Maggie, and you become the first defender, play it square, and you just drop off. So you now deny the passing lanes for the penetrative ball. Pressure the ball, Maggie drops off, good. This time, we've been attacking, midfielders committed forward, we've lost possession, we're outnumbered in midfield, we're going to have a recovering defender. So this time, on the Maroons' first touch, that's when you can get back into the game, Maggie. So I'll just hold you back. Yeah. Because we lost a central midfielder in attack, we need to plug the hole. So now the balancing player has got a choice to make. Can we just come in here and stop this penetrative pass and plug this hole in? Or are we going to wait for that to come all the way back? Okay, your job is to pick the shortest route between you and the goal and the ball, okay, to get goal side. Also, if he's turned and faced, you want to invite the ball square, not invite the ball in behind you. So maybe you just want to drop in here a little bit, okay, and invite that pass. And you're also recovering, so you need to get from where you are, shortest route possible, goal side. That's it. The ball. Good, and stop. Stop. Back you go, Matty. Good. Now we've got the recovering midfielder caught out of position is a wide midfielder. Well done, Alec. Closest man to the ball puts it under pressure. Well done, Shaggy. Came in and balanced on the far side. Well done, Youngie. Tucked in and gave us some balance in midfield. Perhaps the only thing in here is as you go out, let's take a visual cue from where the next pass might go. Where do you think it might go? Okay, so maybe it's going to come backwards. So maybe now you recognize a visual cue instead of going all the way back into there. Maybe as he shapes to play it there, you get yourself goal side first, play it there, and now you're closing down goal side. Come back again. Don't run from here to there. See the goal? Get yourself goal side, and then close it down. Back again. As the ball travels, good, goal side, and then we put pressure on the ball. This time, Maroons, attacking left back and attacking right back. Your job is to join in and overlap where possible. Now, once that ball has gone in and out, you have a decision to make. Are we covered in there, Brandon? Okay, so you can start to tell him to maybe become the second defender in here, so you need to make a recovery run, first defender. And you've got choices to make. Do you keep coming out? Do we want to sacrifice our central defender out here? Or can we get a recovering midfielder? And do you want Nehemiah to tackle or delay? And recover. And pressure on the ball. And there's our balancing defender on that far side. Shift across, Nehemiah. We've got to establish a line of confrontation. We've got a halfway line in there. So if the fullback's coming unopposed, should we send pressure from there, or should we try and get this guy to send pressure? Sometimes it's a lot of work to expect your striker, so maybe you can start to come in here, jog, so that you're at least goal side at our line of confrontation. Hold it there. And now can you start to just slowly shape it inside or outside? We can start to isolate the play a little bit here by you forcing the fullback to either come back inside to where we've got numbers or to the outside. So this time I want you to force the play inside so that he is not tempted to go outside. Good. Good. And stop there. All right, you don't necessarily come in sideways, because if we want this player to come through here, we've got numbers behind the ball. If we can pinch it in here, look at our reward, because they're still in positions to get the ball in support. Stop it going there. Good. And while that's happening, you're not standing there with your hands on your hips. You're hunting together. Where do you not want the ball to go? So stop it happening then. All right, good. And now we're engaging. Walk with the ball, Jordan. Walk forward. Walk forward. Keep going. Come on to it and get closer as you come. Get closer as you come. And we want the ball to go in there. Because if we can get the ball played in there and we win it, and we win it, now all of our midfield is facing forward.